Welcome to today's Explainer. We are jumping right into the thrilling narrative architecture of the Raven Files, Coordinates of Deception. This story is just an absolute masterclass in building suspense. We're following former profiler Ethan Cross as he makes a reluctant return to the field to hunt a notorious serial killer known only as the Raven. We'll see how geographic coordinates lead Ethan's team straight into a traps-laden military bunker designed to test their survival, and how a recovered videotape suddenly makes the agency's own director the murderer's upcoming target. And if that isn't enough, it all escalates into a massive crisis when the killer breaches the FBI's cybersecurity, launching a high-stakes race against time to uncover an internal threat. So buckle up, because this case is a wild ride.
Everything kicks off in a dead-silent FBI briefing room with this incredibly chilling note found at a Seattle crime scene. Just 3 words: "Welcome back, Ethan." It's so simple, but it instantly establishes the terrifying stakes. Ethan hasn't just stumbled onto a random crime scene, he's been summoned. When director Sarah Bennett asks how the killer could possibly know Ethan was back, Ethan's response is just bone-chilling, because he's always watching. This specific message proves the Raven isn't just a murderer, he's a predator who never makes mistakes, and he wanted Ethan on this case.
And right away, this highlights the intense internal tension within the team itself. Agent Maya Torres' skepticism makes total sense here. The idea that a killer has been silently tracking an FBI profiler for an entire decade sounds completely absurd. But Ethan Cross operates from a place of terrifying certainty. He intimately understands just how deep the psychological warfare goes. Maya represents standard logical law enforcement, while Ethan gets that they are dealing with a total anomaly. But the Raven didn't just leave a greeting card. The team's cybersecurity specialist, Lucas Reed, discovers something hidden at the bottom of the note. These exact coordinates: 47.6062, negative 122.3321. This is where the momentum shifts entirely. We're moving from psychological mind games right into physical reality. The Raven is giving them a very specific destination.
So where exactly do those coordinates lead? Lucas traces them to an isolated, abandoned military bunker hidden deep in a dense forest, exactly 30 miles outside Seattle. Hearing this, Director Bennett makes the call to immediately deploy the team. And, as we now know, they were walking right into a trap.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The Bunker Trap. The team leaves the safety of headquarters for a terrifying tactical descent into the unknown. Let's walk through this suspenseful timeline of the day because the pacing is just relentless. Hour 0, they find the note. By hour 3, they arrive at the forest and it is intensely oppressive. There's this heavy, thick fog everywhere. At hour 4, they breach these old, rusted steel doors. It's pitch black inside, the power's completely dead, and everything is covered in dust. But then at hour 5, as Lucas sweeps his flashlight across the wall, Ethan stops them cold. Right there is a fresh black Raven symbol. The killer was just there.
And then the trap is sprung. Step 1, an audible click. Lucas looks down. He stepped on a pressure plate. Step 2, Ethan screams at everyone to run. Step 3, a massive explosion rips through the tunnel, concrete collapsing right on their heels as they literally sprint for their lives. And finally, Step 4, they barely manage to escape, bursting into a brand new secondary chamber, gasping for air. It's an absolutely heart-pounding sequence.
In the immediate, dusty aftermath, Maya has this frantic realization. She looks at the collapsed tunnel and says, "That wasn't a warning. He was trying to kill us." Which is a totally rational conclusion. But Ethan points out something crucial. If the Raven wanted them dead, they'd be dead. That explosion was actually perfectly designed to corral them, to funnel them exactly where he wanted them to go. Which brings us to the center of this new chamber. It's completely dark, the air is thick with dust, and right there, sitting perfectly under a solitary spotlight, is a single metal table. Resting on it is an old videotape. And scrawled across it in stark red ink are the words, "Play me." The Raven staged this entire thing just to deliver a message.
Section 2. A new target. The narrative shifts back to FBI headquarters as the team inserts the recovered tape into an old player and static fills the screen.
Through the static, a masked figure appears. It's the Raven. His voice is heavily distorted, echoing through the room. He taunts Ethan directly through the screen, saying, "You failed to stop me once, and you will fail again." It is a brutal, direct attack on Ethan's past, establishing dominance right inside the FBI's own walls.
Then the video cuts to a number that reveals the devastating volume of the killer's history: 27. 27 photographs of known victims flash across the screen one by one. It's completely overwhelming, reminding the team exactly what kind of monster they are dealing with before he delivers his ultimate punchline.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the shocking twist of who the 28th photograph depicts. The flashing stops on director Sarah Bennett. She is alive. And worst of all, the photograph is current. It was recently taken. He hasn't just been tracking Ethan, he's tracking the woman running the entire agency.
Right underneath her photo, these 3 terrifying words appear. She is next. The tape instantly ends. The entire briefing room is frozen in absolute silence. This just became an active, ticking clock rescue mission, and the target is the highest-ranking officer in the room.
Section 3, the cyber breach. This brings us into the final escalating crisis.
Director Bennett asks a genuinely horrifying question. How did a serial killer manage to get a recent photograph of her? Ethan's expression just darkens and he says, "Because the Raven is closer than we think." This is the terrifying implication that their secure headquarters is actually completely compromised. The call is coming from inside the house.
And right on cue, chaos erupts. Step 1. Blaring alarms start sounding throughout the entire FBI headquarters. Step 2. Lucas confirms a massive cyber hack. The killer is in their network. Step 3. A final message overtakes every single screen in the building. This sequence completely strips the FBI of their perceived safety.
This is the killer's final taunt, plastered across every single computer monitor. Catch me if you can. The Raven is proving that he controls their own systems. No bunker, no firewall can keep him out. Which leaves us with this incredibly provocative cliffhanger. Who inside the FBI is helping the Raven? A breach of this magnitude heavily suggests a traitor within their own ranks. Ethan's team is now in a desperate race against time to root out this internal threat and save the director before it's too late. It makes you wonder, can they even trust the person sitting next to them? That's the real horror here. The killer isn't just in the woods, they're in the system. Let me know what you think of this wild twist.